We continue to follow the breaking news here out of the 41 Action News newsrooms of the KCK police officer being shot today. The latest indication is we are being told that officer has died.
Sources telling 41 Action News that officer died about 90 minutes after being taken to KU Medical Center. You can see that is where officers are now arriving to the hospital as the word continues to spread throughout the department. Just crushing news for, as you mentioned earlier, the KCK Police Department suffered a loss just a couple of months ago with Detective Brad Lancaster also being gunned down on the line of duty. And then what's happening across the country. We don't know exactly the circumstances that this particular shooting happened in, but still the whole country is just on edge. I can't imagine a time that we've had like this in recent times. It's just incredible.
Right. So the details from today are that a 911 call came in just after 1:30 today from 2nd and Edgerton and KCK. Someone reported that there was a group of people shooting at him, or the caller. Police responded and some sort of a chase ensued when those suspects were fleeing. This is the area right there at 2nd and Edgerton. This next point on the map you're going to see there was a crash of some sort during that pursuit. When we know police were in pursuit of suspects, at that point someone was taken into custody. And at this point the details are that 2 suspects ran. An officer pursued on foot. And at this next point here, this is at 22nd and Haskell, is where the officer was shot. And now sources are telling us has died of his or her injuries, but was in pursuit of the suspect that was from the original shooting call that came into 911 at about 1:37.
Just like investigators, we're trying to piece everything together. You mentioned 22nd and Haskell. That's where 41 Action News reporter Lexi Suter has been positioned. Lexi, what can you tell us, especially after hearing this update?
Well, Mike, I mean, this is beyond devastating, especially for this department that, I was on TV 2 months ago reporting that Kansas City, Kansas lost an officer in the line of duty while he was doing his job. He was shot and killed. Now, I'm not even sure some of these officers behind me know that news yet because they are still working hard to try to get those people into custody. You can hear the police helicopter is circling. Lights are flashing. These roads are blocked off, and they are still actively doing their job to make sure there is no threat to the public. Of course, we are going to stay here and make sure those people who are responsible do get into custody, and we will bring you the very latest just as soon as we get it.
Lexi, we had originally heard they were searching for a suspect. That was the case about 15 minutes ago. Are they still searching for a suspect?
Krista, it appears they are. I mean, like I said, this police helicopter just keeps circling. Officers are on duty here, standing by. Lights are flashing. We've heard a couple police sirens go by, cars go by on these cross streets just a couple blocks away from where I'm at 22nd and Haskell. So as far as I know, they are still searching for people who could be connected to this officer's death.
And Lexi, stand by with us. We do understand that we expect to hear an update from police coming up at 4 o'clock, the KU media area where reporters are told to gather. This is the tweet that was just sent out there by the chief in KCK. And Lexi, if you're still with us, can you give us an indication, just a spin around of the scene where you are, to give us an idea of exactly where you're positioned?
Yes, so I am exactly at Stewart Avenue and 22nd Street. This is just a few blocks from where the officer's car was parked. He was investigating a shooting that had just happened. I believe that was around 1:30 p.m. when he was hit. When I last spoke with the PIO, the public information officer, before he went to the hospital to check on his fellow officer, he had told me that details were still very fluid. They don't know how many times he was shot, where he was hit. They don't know where those bullets were coming from, but that officer was responding to a shooting that had just happened in this area of Kansas City, Kansas. Right now, they're still looking. That's as far as we know. They're still standing by. They've got several roads blocked off, and I have several cars just in my line of sight of police cars here doing their job, trying to find these guys. Mike?